it's Whitney at the Homeschool Classroom. Today I wanted to talk about modeling, and this has nothing to do with the way that you look. It's all about showing your kids and walking them through a process of what you're expecting down the road for them to do independently. So, for example, I have this class coming up, and I've kind of scheduled it so that it's very hands-on, it's very discussion oriented and feedback oriented from the students where they're going to participate. I'm going to be modeling a lot of the work that's done as a whole group. And that's something that you want to do in whatever subject you're kind of working. So for this example, we're going to be doing writing. So we're going to talk about some different things that have to do with descriptive writing and making a sentence more interesting and more detailed. And then the next week, we're going to kind of apply that to poetry and talk about imagery and adjectives used in that way. Not necessarily the rhyming aspect and stuff like that. I'm using these resources that kids might be familiar with, but maybe for a different context. So maybe you've talked about poetry already and you've talked about, the patterns that are in poetry or rhyming or things like that. But for this one, we're going to be focusing on, making it really descriptive and creating that image in the reader's mind. So, that's going to be heavily discussion. And then we are going to be talking about, the parts of a story and what is needed to create a story. You can't forget the beginning, the middle, or the end, because you don't have a story if you do that. And then finally, we're going to be writing a story together. I do this a lot. The kids love it. It's very time consuming as far as, you're not going to say, hey, go write a story and have it done. Or, they're not going to be able to have experience with stories and just know exactly what to do. You actually have to walk them through the process. As a parent of, a child who is anywhere older than maybe 1, you already know that you can't say to your child, do this when they're little, and they actually know what to do. You say, okay, let's pick up your toys and put them in the bin. And then your child doesn't know what that even means when they're developing that language and that vocabulary. So you show them, you get up and you pick up the toys and you say, okay, we're going to put the trucks all in this blue bin. And then you show them by putting the trucks in the blue bin, and we're going to keep all of your balls in this green bin over here. So you show them by putting the ball in the bin. And you do that throughout your whole life. I mean, I have never met a child, not my own, no students, who do things from the very first time that you tell them to do something, like they get it. Like, oh, you're going to do this. Okay. No, you have to show them what you want. You're modeling what you want them to do. And eventually, after you have modeled it a lot of times, you're going to be able to expect that from them. But it's really a process for them to get to that end result, whether it's in life or whether it's in academics. Just showing them what your expectation is through a process is normal. So anyway, we're going to write that story on the last day. It'll be something where I take, their ideas and feedback and stuff, and I do the writing. I'm going to be the one who models what the story looks like. When they give suggestions that don't make sense logically from, maybe the beginning of the story that we've decided to use, then I'm going to point that out, and I'm going to walk them through that process and explain why it doesn't make sense for the character to do that. And so by the time we get done, I've talked them through this process. I'm helping them kind of weed out what ideas work and what ideas don't, so that by the end we have a coherent story that makes a lot of sense. They're going to illustrate it, they're going to have fun, and they're going to really feel a lot of ownership with it, even though I've taken on the main lead of kind of directing it. It's going to be very cooperative as far as, using their ideas and kind of moving forward in it. So if you have something that you want your child to do, make sure that you go into it knowing that you're going to have to model it. You're going to have to show them exactly what you want from them and do it multiple times. It's not like, oh, I showed them once, so now they should know. Maybe there are some skills that you can pick up relatively quickly, But as far as like writing and doing some of those types of skills, you actually have to show them how to think through it and then what to do with those ideas and thoughts. So I hope this helps. Let me know if you need any more information on modeling, if it's something that you've done and it's worked for you and you really see the benefit of it, or maybe you need a little more explanation. So thanks guys, and have a great day.